What's up, y'all? I'm PC McCray. You can call me P.
Hey y'all, my name is Shaun the Head. You can call me Shaun the Head. And this is the Everything Has Changed podcast.
From 2 college roommates to 40-something adults, life has been lifing and we want to talk about it.
We are the new adults, y'all.
How did that happen?
I don't know, P, but we got to talk about it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
What up?
Hey, P.
We're back. Praise
We're
God.
here. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
I have been on the socials this morning, catching up on all the BET Award clips. Why, Shaun, do you have to watch clips? Well, Shaun didn't even know the BET Awards were happening. Okay? So, forgive me. I didn't catch them live. Did you?
I did catch it live only because I saw tweets or people posting on Facebook. They were like, wait, what are y'all talking about? Right. The BET Awards, isn't that at the end of the month? Right. And I looked, I said, no, it's a real thing. It's happening right now. Okay.
Right now. And I thought that, and maybe I've got it mixed up, maybe because I know they have the Hip Hop Awards too, which is a separate thing. But I really thought that the BET Awards were something that they filmed, like they recorded it and then they showed it like the following week or something. And I saw people talking about it on social. And once I realized it was happening, I was like, I don't like to jump in the middle. So I was like, oh, I will wait. I'll catch it on demand. And it was like, no, you're not. You can catch it back when we air it again on Thursday. So, but I really thought when I saw that they were, when everybody was in LA, I thought it was going to be a pre-recorded thing. So I had no idea. And then on a Monday too, I was like, this is
Monday
just
night.
Weird.
And the reason why I say you could have jumped in, it was hella long. It was like 10 hours.
I've watched many clips.
I don't know
I watched like 10 hours of clips, so it had to be.
It was so long. It didn't wrap till almost 12, 30-ish.
It was wild.
Kirk Franklin. I don't know.
But hey, that Kirk Franklin set, P, I appreciate Kirk for always showing up. Because when I say always showing up, I mean at everything that's like not gospel, he's going to be there. And then even if you like listen to his interviews and stuff, he's always going to talk about how he wants to, I'm sure there's a better way to phrase this, but he wants to show up in the community and do his good work, okay, in the community and around not kids, but the young people, because clearly just because you rap or sing or whatever the case, that don't mean you don't have a relationship with God, and that don't mean you didn't grow up in a church and you don't like some gospel every now and again. And I really love the way that Kirk shows up. But Kirk Franklin's set was the first clip that I watched, and I watched it like in bed. Okay, the next morning, like before I got up to get my day started. I was lucky because my daughter, she was late getting up that morning, and I let her have it because I wanted to watch my little clips. And it was so good, Pete. I was in my bed doing one of these with the
You're jamming.
Lately I've been going through something that really got me. I said, but I did say if he sang that song that gets to me, I'm gonna have to turn this off, and I don't want to have to turn it off. I said, don't do it, Kirk. Don't do it, Kirk. And he didn't do it. But then what song is it that? God's wait, ain't no shame in my game, guys. GB, are you with me? Oh yeah. Oh, Stomp. When they were singing Stomp, and I said, I bet Salt not there. I bet Salt don't pop out. Did Salt pop out? I said.
Look, that song changed the game because the Saints weren't messing with Kirk or Stomp when it first came out. Church was not.
They hardly mess with him now.
The youth choir could maybe sing Stomp during vacation Bible study, but at my church we couldn't. We weren't doing Kirk. But as young people, that's how I made my connection to my relationship with God and gospel music.
Exactly.
Was Kirk. So
exactly.
He's maintained, and the fact that he's even going into this next generation with Glorilla winning the her song "Rain on Me."
Yep.
I was like, okay, Gloria,
and
hallelujah.
And Maverick, is it called Maverick Music? The group, the young people
Maverick
group,
City.
Maverick City, and the way that he's, girl, look, but the way that I like the way he locked in with them, and then they were going on tour, and he was taking them like to the Breakfast Club and stuff where he already has a name, so he can get the interview, and he's bringing them with him. I just love how he just like leans into that instead of like super traditional, church stuff. But I'm glad that was my first clip too, because I was like, oh my God, I missed it so good. And then clip after clip after clip, I'm like, oh, this is our show. This is like for the millennials, because every girl, that 106 in Park set,
everything.
I was sweating, dancing
everything
to that.
about it.
Girl, T.I., girl.
Yes.
Maya. Maya? Oh my God. Maya looks so good. I said, what kind of water is she drinking?
Miss Maya.
I said, go, Maya. Yes.
She looks amazing.
Beautifully up there dancing
in
in
her
them
breath
heels.
Control.
Yes. Perfect.
She still was doing it. Yeah.
Perfect. And then the way she looked at the camera at the end.
Yeah.
I said, this might as well be 1999. Because
come on back, Maya. Come on back.
I was even proud of Bow Wow, because I just keep because Bow Wow just is such a fool nowadays. But I really forget how good he is at what he does, and then you think about how young he started. Like, of course, he really is a professional at that stuff.
Yes,
and I'm just
his energy.
I was so pleased. Yeah, and he's a showman. Yeah, because that's how like we always talk about the artist development when coming up, that's how they were taught. So nowadays it's like, and no shade, but you can get on YouTube or TikTok and somebody could discover you, and now that's awesome. Back then they didn't have that, and they literally had to go through all these processes and procedures to make it. If they made it in front of that camera, they was a professional. And I just love that so many of the people that we came up on are still right here, sounding the same, can do the same. Like you said, the breath control, that voice. Like, you can tell people are still practicing their craft, even if you don't see them every day anymore. I was just, no, but where was AJ? Because in the 106 in Park, he wasn't there. He was the only one who wasn't there.
AJ has some allegations of
AJ? I didn't know. Like, like sexual assault allegations?
Yes.
What? I thought he was married. Well, that was forever ago. His wife brought the allegations?
Well, no, not the wife.
I don't know any of this. Tell me. I have no idea.
So and it's been quiet. It popped out maybe a year or two ago, but it's been quiet, and like multiple people came out. From my understanding. And so I'm thinking that's what people are saying. That's the word on the streets and the social media streets, that's why he was missing, because
I did not know that.
You got some ongoing stuff happening.
I was like, where? Because I see Jaleesa. I didn't see. Was Roxy up there?
Roxy.
I didn't even see Roxy. I saw Terrence J, because Terrence J looked the oldest out of all. He looked older than Free. I said, dang, Terrence.
Dang. And
he's
Roxy's
now,
doing
maybe,
Yeah, he's acting. Roxy is doing the show with Deion Sanders. Like, so Roxy is still working.
She's working. I just didn't see her on
AJ.
On the stage. I feel like, because they did the pairs to get like, they kind of, it seemed like they went backwards. No, they may not have gone backwards, but they did Jaleesa and Big Tigger. They did Free by herself. Terrence was by himself. And then there was another twosome. Whatevs. Yeah, I saw that Roxy got stuff going on. People still out here, man. I love that for us. It was a good show.
It did. It looked good.
It was for us too. And it makes sense. Because I know that there's a lot of music being sold, not sold, but a lot of albums or whatever being sold by younger artists and stuff. But the kids nowadays, they can't appreciate BET the way that we can appreciate it because it's not what it was. When we were growing up, it's slightly different from MTV because MTV said music television, but they don't have no music no more. BET just say black entertainment. So it didn't have to be just music. But when we were growing up, it was all music, all videos and stuff. And it's not there at all anymore. So I don't know how they can appreciate it. Their perspective on appreciating it will be different because it's like a whole different dynamic. It's not for music or whatever anymore. So I just love that we got centered,
And what's crazy is the lull in the show was when Playboy Cardi got on. Like, people,
you know what I'm saying?
The comments, sometimes the comments are hell, but sometimes that's where the laughter, the best laughter comes from. When I tell you, everybody was like, "Oh, Auntie don't know who this is. We don't understand. We don't know what you're saying.
Sorry to that man.
We don't understand it at all. Sorry to that man, young man." And it literally it showed the difference. Like you said, here are acts from the 2000s, 1999, and then this young man bopping around. We don't know what you said, sir.
Yeah.
We don't know not a single word. It was a few people in the crowd that was bopping, but for the most part, the crowd was looking like,
And sometimes I be knowing the songs, but nowadays I can't tell you the artist, and I definitely can't tell you what they look like. Like, I like that song. What do you say? Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest, and it's Big X the Plug is what I learned is his name. I love that song. Love it.
Big X
Never knew the man name till like last week. And then I was watching something where, Coach Don Staley was on Van. It's called Higher Learning, the podcast with Van and old girl from The Bachelor, Rachel
Lindsay.
I love how I should call her old girl. I actually really like her. And she had to pick out the artist.
She's like, I don't know that. I don't know.
I watched that like 3 days ago, and that's when I found out what that man looked like because I never knew. So it's like, don't count on me. But I'll jam along, to the radio,
It just proved the point that the other acts just flowed our people. I was very entertained by Tiana Taylor. I think she does a good job. The futuristic thing that she's trying to do. I'm looking for. She's on a rise. Yes, ma'am. Come on.
She is, and that's crazy because she's literally been out here since she was like 15. I want to say her interview with Angie Martinez on Angie Martinez podcast, and she was talking about how down she had gotten because of how long things were taking. And that's when I sat and thought about it, like, because this lady she's 34. Yep. I know that because I looked it up the other day because when Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. When he had his birthday and he turned 31, I said, well, how old is TT? Because they're dating now. I want to know the T. So that's when I found out she's 34. So she's literally been in the game for like 20 years. And she's just now, I think it was like last year when that movie came out that she was in. And she was even getting like some, like she was critically acclaimed. And they started talking about her in the awards conversation. And then people started talking about wanting to work with her in acting and stuff. But I remember that interview because she was like, God's timing. We talked about this before, right? It's like that. You just got to wait on God's timing. But she was talking about how she felt in the wait, but then how it feels now for it to be coming to fruition. And that was last year. Now look at this year. She's in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio is her love interest, is coming
This
out.
whole year. All the commercials,
She's
everything.
got so much.
Straw just came out with Taraji and
yes.
Sherry. Like, okay. Yes, ma'am. Come on.
Stick with it.
I love it.
I do love too that I'm thinking that it's helpful to have all these things going on, all these pots in the fire, whatever they say, like immediately after your divorce. Because what if you didn't? Which is a case of a lot of the times. And now you got to sit there and figure out how to get back to yourself, how to show up for your kids and all this stuff. And at the same time, you might be feeling like the outward, not that you need validation, but it could, what if it felt like everything was against you all at once? So I'm happy for her that she's on the come. It's almost like she had to get rid of that man to...
It was in the documents, though, that she wanted sealed. He unsealed everything for us to see. But she said she would have to turn down things because he would feel away.
Because he would feel... What do you mean he would feel away?
His career wasn't moving at a pace that he wanted. But she was getting offers, and she would say no to appease him and to make sure that he was comfortable, or just kept it smooth in the house. That she said that.
This is crazy because she
wanted
was a
it private.
celebrity
He made
when
it
she
public.
met you, sir.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now they was cute when they was together. I liked them when they was together. So
they were.
I don't know nothing about the show, Petunia. It was all cute, But then when if she say it ain't working, then it ain't working. Then okay. Y'all had a season.
Yeah, she has beautiful children and can move on.
Oh God, yes, they're beautiful. The whole family is just beautiful. And then but sidebar, I seen something literally yesterday because they were talking about Aaron Pierre's birthday and how that video came out. And I don't remember what the original post was, but then somebody in the comments was like, yeah, because she done sold her soul. She's been initiated now. So of course this is what she was like. What? A black person can't just be... She's literally been out here for 20 years doing the same thing.
I hate it.
And then she started with her friend. She started the production company. So that's what she started doing. Well, I'm sure she had been doing choreography, but she literally started getting contracts with people like, I'm going to do your staging. I'm going to be your artistic director. I'm going to direct your video. Like, you saw her lean into, hey, maybe if this isn't the season for me to do this anymore, I can help other artists. But then when she started doing that, that's when God was like, okay, good job. Now you're doing that good. Now I can reward you by giving you this. And then you're going to sit up here and say, because this man fine, that means that she got initiated into the Illuminati. First of all, this man just showed up last year. We didn't know this man from Adam until he got on Netflix shooting at the white people. Great movie, by the way. Really good movie to watch.
Shoot 'em up. It was one of your shoot 'em up movies.
Shoot 'em up. Okay? So you know how I feel about a shoot 'em up.
I hate that has taken hold of our community. That every time someone in our community does well and gets a break and finally is popping, it has to be something demonic or they've been initiated, as opposed to just hard work. The timing, having the opportunity. Everything isn't about a sacrifice and all. Like, shut up.
Wild.
Shut up. I hate it.
It's wild. Hey friends, we're so thankful for your support. If you want to be updated whenever we drop a new episode or when we drop some of the special things we've got coming, head on over to everythinghaschangedpodcast.com and drop us your email so you can stay locked in. Cool? Cool.
I don't understand it.
I'm sorry, P. I didn't mean to piss you off.
Because I see it. I saw the same stuff too, like you were saying. And now all of a sudden she's like, no, that girl been in this game since she was a teenager. It's just timing.
And then, they do those, oh, this really gets me, when they put up the plastic surgery pictures and they're like before and after, but the before picture of Tiana Taylor, she was literally 15 years old. She's now 34.
So yes, you're
and they're
going
like
to
before and
change.
after. Like, God forbid she looks like a woman in her 30s, a black woman in her 30s, which means she in her 20s, versus talking about her, she's changed. She was 15. She wasn't even, her nose wasn't even finished growing yet. This doesn't make any sense. I'm so, and people they say it with their full chest, P. Like,
full chest. Like it's the real, honest to God truth. God bless him. That's all I can say. God bless. What about our boy Jamie Foxx, the tribute?
Oh my God. I love the tribute.
Woo!
And first of all,
good.
I just when he got up there and was doing his speech, and it just made me think about how some people loved his special and some people didn't, because they talking about, oh, it was depressing and all this stuff. And Jamie like, hey, I'm gonna get back up here. I'm gonna say it again. I told God if I get a second chance. And it's like, y'all need to be listening to this man, because he's going through it before you go through it. Okay, so you got all this stuff to say and you don't want to hear it because you ain't gone through it yet, as if you're not a human being. Okay, you're gonna go through some stuff. And of course, it just made me, he's so thankful to be here. And we could just stop it right there. Like, that could just be it. He's so thankful to be here. When he was looking at that in memoriam and he said, that could have been me.
Oh, that
and then
hit.
His daughters, so when he said that, you saw the immediate reaction on his daughters' faces, like
and
his two daughters and then his sister. They were all sitting there holding hands.
It was real. It was real. And just him, I was so happy that he was able to really get his flowers while he's here. We didn't have to celebrate him when he's gone. He got it. And every person that came out, he was in awe. It was taking his breath away. Each one.
Showed up for me.
I loved it. It was just so, it filled me up. It filled me up.
I love anytime I get a T-Pain sighting. So I was happy that T-Pain pulled up. I love Tank on his little.
I love Tank.
But I always think it's funny how when people talk about Jamie Foxx, they do Ray Charles songs. Like, I know because he played Ray Charles, but it's just so funny. Like, as if he's Ray Charles. Like, we're gonna do some Ray Charles songs.
He was so good.
Listen, say what you want about Jennifer Hudson. First of all, which I think she's actually in her element doing this talk show, by the way. That being said, I love that she's still going to pop out and sing, because that voice ain't going nowhere.
And sing.
And she don't even put her whole body into it. It's like it's nothing. Like, let me just
opens her mouth.
You need a quick 8 count? Need a 16? You need a bar? Somebody hand me the mic. And she just go. I loved it. Now, I thought about you when that Quincy Jones tribute. I said, P said. You didn't like that either? Come to me, or was it?
What'd I say? What did I say? Maybe she's still on tour. Maybe she wasn't available. But guys, you missed the mark. It was all right.
Good. But the Secret Garden.
Now, I will say,
first of all, Luke James, my
girl,
God in heaven,
like
that
Jinx.
boy. No,
let me tell you something. You know that the scene in the 5 Heartbeats with the girls in the audience and he's singing and she's just wiggling into the chair. That Luke James, when he sings, that's me.
Oh,
he gets my full attention. I want.
So good.
I need. He gets, but his voice is so. he can make it full, and he has a beautiful falsetto.
Yes.
Luke James, Tank. I'm trying to think of who else has the voice for me. A voice, can sing. I don't need the high. You don't have to hit falsetto all the time, but if you can, that helps. But those two, I need another album from Luke James.
Love
the
him.
last two, it just wasn't enough. I know he's in his acting bag, but clearly, when he pops in, what did he do? The Toni Braxton tribute when he sang "Unbreak My Heart" to her.
Yes. He can
And
sing
then this
anything.
year, like, bro, come to us. Bring your vocals, please. I'm begging you, Luke
God,
James.
he's so good.
He's
That
so
was why I
good.
was so happy he was like in the New Edition movie, because all them boys had to be actual singers. But I know he was on Star. I really didn't pay attention to him as an actor. That daggone show on Amazon, Them.
Which one? Them.
It's called Them. Oh my God. He should have got award after award after award.
Yes.
The one, it's like an
No, he was
anthology show.
Psycho.
So every
Edmund.
season, yes. And so he played this. I'm always talking about shows of
Edmund.
serial killers. Last episode.
No, he was Psycho. He scared the hell out of me.
And he shaved off all his facial hair. His whole demeanor changed. Like, oh, he was good. I said, oh, he be acting. I never knew. Like Tony Baker's voice.
He's in his thing.
I never knew.
He's acting. He's on The Shy.
Excellent performer. Yes. I do remember him from The Shy.
But
I sure do.
Mind
but that show, Them, if y'all haven't seen it, y'all want to get your socks knocked off.
The second season.
The second season, number 2. Season 1 was good.
It was good.
Season 2, and it's an anthology series, and so it's like okay. Wait, how do I talk about it without spoilers? There's an underlying story under the 2 seasons, but the actors, like there's a couple actors from the first season, or maybe one main actor from the first season, who shows up again in the second season, but they play different people. So they're telling a different story, but there's an underlying story underneath that, and we probably won't get that full story until a couple more seasons. But Luke James show up in the second season. It's its own story, so you don't have to have watched the first season to watch it. That boy is acting. Oh my God, he was good. You didn't even see him in it.
He scared the hell out of me. And
he
so
did.
There's that. I'm not gonna watch that again ever.
Oh,
but he did
I'm glad you watched it the first time. Excellent, so good, all around excellent performance. I agree. More music from Luke James, more everything from Luke James, because
so I can wiggle in my chair when he sings.
Now, man. But I like the tribute. Lucky Day. All right, cool. I was happy they gave Miles,
and
let the boy get some shine.
I appreciated him. Of course, Barry White has that natural deep baritone.
Yeah.
So while Miles, his voice, he tried to get down there those first 2 notes because it was really quiet. But once he got into his range,
I was wondering if that was him or if it was the mic.
He couldn't quite get it.
Yeah. It. You're right. It was.
I think it was
light,
him trying to get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once he came into his own range, I was like, oh, his voice is beautiful.
Man.
I love his voice.
Yes.
Tone.
So good.
Everything. So it was good. I'm being picky about the Quincy Jones tribute.
Because I don't know if we're going to get another.
We're not. That's it.
I think that might be it. We've had the Oscars, the Grammys.
That was it. It was a wrap. That I was hoping. It's fine. It's fine.
Your face don't say it's fine, but okay.
It's fine.
Great show. Great show. Anything else you remember from the show you want to speak on, P?
What else? Our doll Mariah. I didn't know that was her first BET award.
Mariah Carey?
Is that a thing?
Look, I'm like, is that another Mariah?
That's what she said. Oh, well, yeah, you didn't watch.
Well,
she said,
I don't know.
She says, I've been told that
I've
this
been
was her
told Mariah
first.
swears she don't know what be going on. Mariah swears she live in a bubble, and I've been told.
Like, what?
Well, well, we got to think about when did the actual BET Awards start? Because they wasn't out when she was
You're right.
peak Mariah. They wasn't. So, have we? What about Emancipation of Mimi? Was the BET Awards? I don't even know if they were out when Emancipation of Mimi was out. Actually, I don't think. I feel like the BET Awards might be a 2010s. I think it might be like a 2010s era.
Started inaugural 2001.
Oh, well, I lied. That was a big lie. I just
June 19th, 2001 was hosted by Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh, yeah.
That was the very
they
first
had a run.
one.
Yeah, because then
So
Monique hosted
Emancipation of
before.
Mimi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Emancipation
she
Mimi
was
was
there.
like Emancipation Mimi was after
Yeah.
2001 even. It was like
Yeah.
03, 04, 05-ish. Yeah.
It's just possible that whoever she was in the category with. And then also leave Beyonce alone, y'all. She had a show in London like that day. On our time, by the time we looked, she was on stage in London.
We already heard from Stephen Hill just how hard it was to get.
She was like, "No, I'm not doing that again."
Beyonce, yeah,
not doing that again.
Off a tour to come.
Stop.
Yeah.
The fact that Kendrick and SZA was there was dope though, because they had a show the next day in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I'm sure after the show they had to fly right on out,
straight on over
to Detroit for the next show.
I mean, Kendrick, we did all this talking about the culture and stuff. You gotta show up.
You gotta show up.
You gotta show up. I'm sure they probably told him, hey, you won a few. Okay. So just come on, please. So
you missed the bit when Kevin Hart just gave him like all his awards at the same time. He's like, here, you want them all anyway. Here. Just take them.
I did see a few of the Kevin Hart skits or whatever with Drewski and Kai. I just think the three of them together is funny because Kevin Hart used to be the one with all the energy. You know, when there's like all the stars or whatever, and then Kevin Hart's bouncing around doing the stupid shit, and now that's like Kai and Drewski, and he's like the old guy trying to keep up. But I think it's a funny pairing to me. And then I watched some of this. I guess Kai did he stream the entire thing?
The entire time.
Okay, because I saw where they were back in the green room with Kevin Hart, and they was playing a little bit too much while he was trying to prepare. Like, so that was, and I thought that was smart of them to do too. For BET to let him do that, because I know in other show, there was another award show, maybe just even last month or last couple months that Kai showed up at, and he streamed like the red carpet. And then, but I don't think I think it's the first time that somebody allowed him to stream the entire thing. So that was actually a really smart way to use him and his influence.
Which is amazing. That whole streaming thing still baffles me. That they just watch them just sit in the room, act up, play video games, pillow fight. It's just like
pillow fight.
Really? This boy
I like Kai. I like him though, because
stuff.
And not that I was I don't watch none of this stuff. Now I just, if I see a clip online, I will watch it because I just like he has like black boy joy. Like he's always pretty much trying to be just a happy kid, happy to be here, and then I remember I watched one of his interviews about how he came up, and it wasn't a documentary, but it was just something chronicling like his rise, and they showed how he started streaming when he was in this apartment, like I don't know, one of the boroughs in New York. I'm not sure which one, but they had rats and stuff in the apartment and everything, and it ran across while he was streaming, and they might even gave the rat a name. I don't know, but it was just, and his room was like painted like this bright red color. It was so different from him now, and it's just, I was like, you know what? And he said, "I'ma just keep going," and he got his mama out that apartment and out, like, and then he talks about the white people that used to work at the, I don't know if it was the Boys and Girls Club or whatever that he used to go to, and they let him come stay at the house when he had to get X, Y, and Z, and then he would go back to them and take them money and stuff. And then he brought the boy over from one of the Asian countries, and the boy now live with him, and he's like his friend, and he went back and watched him graduate. All this stuff. Yeah. It's like, go ahead, young man. Just go ahead, young man.
He has their attention, so
yeah,
very influential.
Love him. Good show. Great. People were saying it was the best BET Awards in years.
It was a good show. It was a great show. It just ran long. I think a few people just Busta Rhymes just talks too much. He just talks too much. Turn off the mic. He just was rambling. Then he finally said, all right, I'm going to read what's on the teleprompter. You weren't reading it the whole time? Whole time you were just talking? So there were moments that could have been, they could have chopped it up, but it was, overall, yes, this was one of the best.
And it might be chopped up. Look, by the time I get to see the whole thing on Thursday,
yes, it needs to be, because there's no way they're going to let that all play out. So
one thing though, because people were like, it was wild for Bow Wow did that song, the Sierra song, with Sierra in the audience. And it's like, first of all, did Bow Wow even extend? Did he even say to her, I'm going to do this song? Because here's the thing. People be trying to act like Bow Wow didn't talk out his whole ass for like the past. He ain't said really one nice thing about Sierra until literally like last year, or maybe even earlier this year. Before that, he was very bitter. Okay. He was very much, I hit it first. All these like really random, unnecessary comments toward this lady and her life, you know, and now all of a sudden we all grown ups and shout out to Cece. First of all, she probably like, first of all, don't call me Cece. Like she probably, so if he did reach out to her, I don't blame her one bit for not, no, you got it. Go ahead, play the track. Okay, you do your thing. Fine. And he did his thing, great. Fine. She don't have to be a part of that, because he really has not been, he was been very much a bitter ex all of these years. All of them. And literally, you know, people forget. So like, literally like last month he said something nice, like shout out to CC or whatever, and people like, oh, look how nice he is, look how he's so, like, oh, y'all don't remember? Because I remember. I remember when they broke up because he had brought the strippers to the hotel room. But okay, I was a fan, P, so excuse me. I remember all of it.
We'll bring it back.
You know, I remember all of it.
Reeling them back in.
Bring it back. But she ain't had to get up there on that stage for that. She's above that now.
She's moved on.
Oh, yes. And so, what'd you think about Doechie's acceptance speech? Because that's been all over the internet.
Yep. I thought it was amazing and timely, because it was, people asked, like, how are they going to do this show with everything going on literally outside of the building? How's that going to happen? So I was surprised that the show went on without a hitch.
It seemed kind of weird. The audience seemed kind of stale while she was saying that too. I'm like, so we're gonna stand up? We gonna clap? No, y'all don't agree? Yeah. And as she went on, you started to hear. But when she first started talking, people sitting there looking at her like, "What you talking about?" We're like, hello, are we in LA? I think we're in LA. Like, y'all don't know what's going on outside? Just, yeah.
Wild times. Go ahead and explain what's going on.
Well, no, I was just going to say, because, you know, who knows when people are even listening to this, but at the same time that the BET Awards were being filmed, it was at the exact same time that Trump had sent ICE to LA to do some raids, taking people from their jobs, undocumented people, taking them from their jobs. They're showing up to school graduations. So the kids were literally on stage getting their certificates, and their parents were being pulled from watching them. The kids get off the stage, the parents gone. I read one report, a lady was giving birth. She gave birth. They wheeled her out. You know, they wheel you out with the baby. Nurse took the baby. ICE took the mama. No. She just gave birth.
I didn't hear about that.
Mm-hmm. They were showing up to people's immigration appointments. People were at the building to do what they need to do to stay here. And they pulled up at their set appointment times and was pulling them out the buildings. And these ICE people have masks. They're masked up. Sometimes there's nothing on them that even says ICE. So they're basically plainclothes. They were in plain clothes. Officers, ICE officers, grabbing people, kidnapping people, basically because they're deporting them without due process. So they're deporting people and putting them on the plane and sending them to countries that they're not even sending people. Some of these people they're not even sending to the country they came from. They're sending them to other countries. They might not even speak the language, and they never got to stand in front of a judge. They never got due process. And also, just not forget, being an undocumented immigrant is not even a criminal offense. It's a civil offense. It is not criminal. And they're sending them to jails, aka concentration camps in other countries. That's not even their home country. And they're pulling up to their jobs and their children's schools to do this. So some people in the city of LA took to the streets. And it's not even as big as they're making it seem at all. I've seen plenty of videos from this weekend of people out there, vendors selling popsicles and hot dogs. People got their signs and their kids and their strollers, and they're doing peaceful marches, just getting food from the kiosks up and down the streets. But what they're putting on cable news and what Trump is saying is that it's lawless country and it's everyone for themselves. So he wants to send in the National Guard. The governor of California said, nope, we don't need to get National Guard. Trump said, like hell you don't. Yes, you do. Because look at this. And then he's showing like really embellished images of things that aren't even actually happening. I've even seen them put up images from George Floyd protests, right? When it was really going down, okay?
Propaganda.
And thank you, P. You always had the right word for me. Propaganda. And so Gavin Newsom was like, no, that's the governor of California. Trump was like, yes. So he mobilized the National Guard, which is unconstitutional because that's a states' right issue. And the governor is supposed to say yay or nay. He said nay. Trump said yay. He sent the National Guard. He called 2,000 National Guard troops. Only 300 showed up because guess what? We ain't got to do that because we don't got to do this against our own people. So since only 300 showed up, he called in another 2,000. He just trying to get who he could get. And then he called in the Marines. The Marines have now been activated and deployed. So now, as of today, they're saying that there is a curfew for LA County. And they're like, oh my goodness, the curfew. Oh, it's so bad. The curfew is for like 1 square block of LA County. Because the protests are not that. People in LA are like, oh, there's a protest going on. Like, they didn't even know there was a protest till social media. Because that's how bad they're making it seem. And Trump is making it seem like all this stuff is happening. So we have to override the governor. We have to override states' rights and send our own military against the people. And ask yourself, then what is the military supposed to do if they feel like, because what are they going there to do? Because there must be some danger if we're going in there. And if things are dangerous, what is the military being asked to do when confronted with danger? Are they just going to start shooting people like they do in dictatorship regime in Tiananmen Square? Is that where we're going? I watched a video yesterday. There was a reporter from Australia just on the street at the protest. You know, the ICE was tear gassing people down the block. So they were filming it. She was literally facing the camera. So ICE, all the protest was behind her. She was not facing the protest. She was facing her camera. The ICE man, literally aimed at her and shot her in the leg. Rubber bullet, because they're using rubber bullet. They still hurt. Still feel that's what they say is still feel like you got shot, but you just okay. Shot the lady in the leg with a rubber bullet. And she's not even she's from Australia. So now Australia's like, what the fuck is going on over there? They're arresting CNN journalists on camera, off streets, just for being, they said the press is not allowed here, so we're arresting you.
It's crazy. And he instigated it all. Yes, it was a protest. Yep. The citizens in the LA area where the ICE were doing the raids were fighting back, but it was under control until Trump came and agitated the situation. And so my part is now what's being put out on social media and out there is why aren't more people joining in the protests, specifically Black folk? And so there's this back and forth now.
Shit.
We're like, no, exactly. Like, no, we're not going to do that. And not because it's not a inhumane process. We do understand that this is not right. However, Latinos for Trump, that little song, all that stuff. No. And what he wants is for Black people to get in the mix so then it can cause even more chaos and then it can really be something big. That's what he's waiting on.
We don't get shot with rubber bullets.
No.
We don't. You know? Remember that white boy who went to the George Floyd protest and killed those people and then they let him off?
Yeah. Yes. So if this is something that's happening and it's not that large, but he's added all of this chaos and aggression and the military and all this, imagine what would happen if it is something big. So I believe he's trying to put Derek Chauvin, he's trying to pardon him.
I heard that, but doesn't he also have state charges too? Like the people that that's what it is. The people that he's saying that he wants to pardon are people who still already have other charges. So it's really more propaganda. It's to make his base feel pumped up. But the dude's still but that's the same thing. There's is it a rapper? There's somebody else he wants to pardon too, but man's still not gonna get released. Because he got other charges.
He had 99 years still left on it.
He all smoke and mirrors, that man.
But he's going to do something to try to get us out there, is what I'm trying to say. And we have to know the difference of, no, this is not our fight. Not yet. We may have to fight because things are getting ridiculous. But understand what's at risk and what they're trying to do. Because once we get out there, it's not going to be no kind of peace. They're going to shoot. They're going to shoot. They're going to kill. They're going to beat. They're going to take away. And it's going to be plastered everywhere. Even more.
And that's what people aren't getting, I think, too, because I don't think people understand. Because when you go to protests and stuff and you see the police lined up and you might see something that looks like military gear and you're assuming this actually hasn't happened before in America. Like even in 2020 when and they did end up, I think, mobilizing the National Guard in D.C., but when he told his general to mobilize the National Guard, he said no. And that general got let go. Or put to side, whatever, demoted, whatever, because he wouldn't do it. So they just went and got somebody else to do it. And so I just seen the interview where that man was talking and he was like, that's not what we do here in America. They can protest. They can even, they can protest. Police will arrest them if they doing something they're not supposed to do. But we don't need that. And so the National Guard is now there, but the Marine thing, that is a thing, and I will look it up and see, and I'll try to put in the show notes if I can find something factual. But I believe the Marines being deployed, and it has never happened before, like against American citizens for protesting. I read yesterday it's $134 million so far is the cost for sending all of these military to LA for like 1 square block of unrest. I saw videos of people. This lady was like, my grandma watched Fox News and they said all this stuff was going on. And she called me to tell me do I need to come over where she's at? Do I need to go in the house and lock up? And she's like, I'm in the street right now. And she turned her camera around. People like, you know, the DJ is outside. They dancing. It's a block party. People selling hot dogs. And she said, and here are the police. And she scanned over and the police are literally like on the lawn laid out because there's nothing for them to do. And those are the people who are already, and it was like 20 police officers. It wasn't like it was like 1 or 2. They were there. They were on their phones scrolling. There was nothing for them to do. And those are the people who are actually paid to be here to keep the peace. But now America has already spent $134 million for him to send the National Guard out and the Marines out. And he forgot to even give them the money, P, for food, for water. Yeah. For housing. They are just in federal buildings, sleep on the floor. And that's the same thing that happened during George Floyd. They were asleep in federal building. And of course, the pictures look crazy, but I'm sure they're used to it. If they used to go in the wars, you know, you got to sleep wherever. So they're just curled up on the floor. They got their packs under their head so they can sleep. But it looks ridiculous because they don't even have to be here. And they don't even have food. Like, he didn't even do what was supposed to be done so they could be taken care of while they're being sent out to the job. ICE is being kicked out of hotels. The Marriott won't keep ICE. They keep kicking ICE out. Protesters are going into hotels where ICE is. They're causing a ruckus and banging on walls. And so people are calling and saying, hey, there's a lot of commotion. So they're getting kicked out because ICE, quote unquote, is doing all this commotion. So that's the way to fight. But yeah, no, Trump got one thing on his mind is he's got a singular focus, and that's to stir up some shit so that he can bring more and more and more military out. He's got his birthday parade this weekend. Only dictators have birthday parades, people. You can Google it. Who else has had birthday parades? Who else? And so then there's this big protest nationwide called No King's Day. Wow. Because Trump thinks he's a king. There's literally let me see, because I actually did good and I saved this. You know, so I'm on my P.
You saved it.
Yeah, I'm being like P today. I saved this. I found me something factual. And I saved it because I wanted to tell you people. Of course, I went to the wrong platform to even
plan for June 14th.
Tell you what's going on. Oh, here it is. Okay. Anti-Trump organization called No Kings releases a map showing all locations of planned protests against Trump administration policy scheduled for Saturday, June 14th, nationwide. There's literally dots in every state. I'll try to put this in the show notes, but P, this is what it looks like. Look, let me do like you can't. Look, I gotta do like the makeup girls. There you go. Those are all the dots. It's a lot. So they said that it was 1,000 protests. The last time there was like this mass mobilization of protests against Trump before during his last administration, and it's now like over 2,000. So on your birthday, bitch. And the new Pope is doing his celebration on the same day. He's like, are people getting together on the 14th? Let's get together then, Catholics. You got to pick a side. You're going to watch some tanks roll. Literally, tanks are going to be rolling through the street, P.
Jesus, help us.
Oh, my God.
I pray for everyone's safety. For the innocents. Because it's about to be some foolishness.
Please pray.
Peace. I pray for peace.
But that brings me to something else I want to talk about, P.
Yes.
The Tonys were also this past weekend.
They came on.
And the Hamilton 10-year reunion, which for these fools that are on the internet saying that it was not a political ass performance. You're an idiot. You're idiots, all of you.
It was.
From top to bottom. It just made me think of the No Kings, because for anyone who didn't see it, of course I'm going to put the link in the show notes. I have watched it about 85,000 times since Sunday night. I can't stop watching it. But first of all, Lynn did like a mashup of songs for the show. So it wasn't one song that he was going to do, because last episode we were talking about what song they're going to do. Several. Right. They did several songs, but they did them in all black. So people are like, oh, it's called Theater Black. They put on their black clothes because they don't have access, or they weren't going to all get outfitted again. Look at these freaking ball gowns these women got on. They didn't just grab that out the closet. This is not their Theater Black. These were tailored. And so then yesterday, Lin-Manuel Miranda, my boo, okay, he put out an entire he put out this just kind of long caption thing on Instagram about how they got to this performance. And he said we started months ago. And he said, oh, I'm so glad because I think he tried not to be, on people's necks. But if you can read English, you understand. He was like, yeah, so we talked about it a few months ago. We put the track together, called Paul Tazwell, who is now the Oscar and Tony Award-winning Paul Tazwell. He won an Oscar and a Tony in the same award season. Black man, was the first black man to win an Oscar for costume design for Wicked. He also just won the Tony for Death Becomes Her, which Michelle Williams was starring in. Mm-hmm. So he won for that. Paul Tazwell did the costumes, the Theater Black costumes. He did the costumes for the entire original company. Paul Tazwell, talking about Theater Black. They just pulled out some black from their closet. Have you never seen tailoring before? Paul Tazwell did all the costumes. They all had on black except for the king, our boy Jonathan Groff, who had on his MAGA red coat. So then the people on the internet, he just had on red for the red coats. You thought, because you don't want your art to come with a side of politics. You don't want your art to mean something. That's literally what art is. Art means things. If you're an artist, the things you do are intentional. You don't want it to be intentional because you don't want to be shown as the idiot who's on the other side. But so anyway, he had on his red coat. He didn't even do his song. He just did da 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 da, because the king is only speaking gibberish. Hello. David. First of all, majority of the main, not the ensemble, not the chorus, but the main characters, they all had a little piece except for pretty much one. We're going to talk about that in a second. But David Diggs, who plays Jefferson and Lafayette, played Lafayette in the song. People aren't getting the fact that he had on a beret because, yeah, he played Jefferson. Yeah, he's French. The French wear berets. Who else wears berets? The Black Panther Party from Oakland, where David Diggs is actually from Oakland. And he had on one glove and a black beret. Oh, my God. Just say you never heard of the Black Panther Party if you don't know what the fuck that means. Like, come on, people. Regardless, P. It was such a good show. When George Washington, Chris Jackson, I think. First of all, there's something wrong with me, P. When Lin-Manuel and Leslie Odom came up, when they were center stage, when they started walking, when the music started, I got teary.
Yes. You lost it.
Oh my God, sure. I got teary, P.
I thought of you the entire time.
P. When George Washington, it's like I almost forgot everybody who was there. It's like I forgot he was there. And then when they parted and George Washington came out, who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Oh my God, I sobbed like an idiot. Because I was like, who tells your story, George? And I'm sitting here thinking about us. I was like, We just want to tell our story. How do we get here, P? We want to tell our story. When you're an artist, when you're creative, you just want to tell your truth. Oh, P, I'm literally tearing up right now.
She's tearing up right now.
Every time I watch it, I start crying. And then his voice,
it's all right.
P, when he walked
He's an
out.
amazing actor. Okay, she's in full-blown tears right now. It was political.
It was so
art.
good.
Art is political. It was a political protest through art, and that performance was very much intentional. And for those who were trying to ignore it, you missed the whole point because it was right there in your face.
Did you see the White House at the end?
All of it. All of it. People just, they don't want to see it. They want to ignore it. But it clearly, they were very intentional about everything in that performance. And it was absolutely an anti-Trump protest.
It was absolutely anti-Trump. But I missed the end. I was just looking at first of all, it's 85,000 people in that company.
It's a lot.
First of all, that's my favorite number, 85,000, for no reason at all. But it was 85,000 people in that original company. And so when they line up and then they all bow together, they don't do the thing like other shows where, hey, here comes Hamilton, he's going to bow. They all line up together and they bow. And there had been these lights behind them the whole time, just doing random shit. I'm sure it's not random, actually, because Lynn. But at the very end, when they bowed, and Chris Jackson said, history has its eyes on you. And Lynn said, I'm not throwing away my shot. And they bowed. When they bowed, the lights came up in the back, and it was literally the White House. I didn't see it at first because all the times I watched it, it's just lights, you know? And then when they bow, I'm looking at people's faces. And then somebody was like, am I crazy? And then I watched it, that's the fucking White House on the fucking stage. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Nobody talking about. It was literally the White House. It was just, I want you to know, P, I did look online at the tickets for Hamilton for Leslie Odom Jr.
I looked for you.
The only shows that were still open was the last two shows. And I was, silly me, I was just looking to see what the price was so I could get my coins together. They was $700 for anybody who's wondering. But I was like, oh, okay. But then it's like, oh, it's like 2 shows left. Like 2 matinee shows at that left. I ain't ready.
It was rumored that he may extend it a little bit more. I don't know how true that is.
P,
and
if
they finalize
if you hear this, if you get word, I don't care if it's 3 a.m. in the fucking morning. P, I need you to text me. I need you to send a bat signal, a voice note or something, so when I wake up, I'll see it.
I got you. We're gonna look for it. That's the mission now, to look for Shonda some tickets to see Leslie Odom. And him.
For all the people. And listen, I said it too. I brought it up last time too about Anthony Ramos. Was he going to be there? Was he not going to be there? He was there. I seen the pictures. He was on stage. He was in his black. But he didn't have he didn't have a singing part like every other of the main cast members. It's fine. Lynn says, like, Anthony didn't show up till Sunday morning. They started practicing like the week before. He didn't show up till Sunday morning because he's filming, because he's an actor. Okay, he's an actor. But he still wanted to be a part. So Lynn was like, hey, if you can show up Sunday, are we going to fit you in? So he said Anthony pulled up by Sunday morning. They found him a spot, you know, but he had not been there because even the week before is when they recorded the TV track, which is the track that you perform to, which generally will have like some chorus stuff and ensemble stuff. So he wasn't even there to even put his parts in. And he wasn't there to rehearse it either. So he wasn't going to have a piece of the show like everybody. It was not no shade or nothing. It wasn't because he cheated on Jasmine, even though he did put in his song that he cheated on her during their engagement, and that's what broke the engagement. But that was 5 years ago. We're over it, because they took a picture together even, and they both put the picture up. Like look, y'all, we're fine. Okay, we can stand on the same stage and sing our song. We're fine. So it feels like they all caught wind of that, because all of a sudden everybody put that picture up. Like, y'all see them right here? They smiling. They're cool. They're cool. Anthony was actually here, but he did want to be a part of it. Actually, I think that's kind of big, because even knowing that you're not going to be able to sing or have a piece, to just still show up and be a part of the chorus.
Yeah. Because he was
and
part
it
of
meant
it.
something that he was there. Like, these are our memories. We need all y'all. We need all y'all up there. So it was great. All is well. It was no shade to him. In fact, Lynn did him a solid by letting him still come show up and getting in there. And he had on his black too. So everybody's all good. I've watched all the behind the scenes. I've watched all the rehearsal footage.
You're so
They even have video from backstage. I've watched it all. It's so good. So good. What did you think about the rest of the show, P? Or did you watch the rest of the show?
I did not watch the rest of the show in full. I caught Audrey McDonald's a performance.
Oh,
amazing. And then I saw Nicole's, I never can say her name properly. Scherzinger.
Yep.
I saw her performance too. And she surprised me.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared. I was like, okay, Pussycat doll, she sang that song. I was blown away. And she won the Tony for Best Actress in the Musical. And that was the category Audrey McDonald was also in. But she's already won so many. She's won. And that's okay.
We wanted Audrey to win. I will say that back when Nicole even started doing the previews, the theater community was saying she was going to win this season. And I don't know. I'd have to see when Audra started her run in Gypsy. I don't know if it was back then when Nicole started, which was sometime last year. But they have been saying for a long time that she was going to be the one to beat. And yes, we want Audra to win. Audra's still the most winningest. But yeah, Nicole already told y'all she is the one who sang all the Pussycat doll, all the roles. And the other girls just showed up for the videos and the stage performances to lip sing and dance, is what Nicole's story is. But she is a performer. You can't take that away from her. She's a bit too dramatic for me, just in normal, regular life. Like, I want you to be that on stage. When you're offset, like, I tried to watch some of her interviews and stuff, and it's really, really like melodramatic. It's really a lot. I can't get through them. She's also MAGA, so there's that. But she is she's a performer. Yeah. Did you see that Purpose, the show, the place Purpose won?
I saw that.
Yeah. So Purpose is not a musical. It's a play. It's loosely based on Jesse Jackson's family. It's about like a family that's coming up with a patriarch who is like in politics, in the spotlight. And it's written by a Black man who is named Brandon Jacobs Jenkins, who is now the Pulitzer Prize winning Brandon Jacob Jennings. He won Pulitzer Prize for this play. Felicia Rashad is the director. So they won for best, because I think they have two. I think they have best musical and best play. So they won for best play, and then I don't know the lady's name, but there's the lady in that play who won for best actress, and she won last year for best actress too. It may have even been for Hell's Kitchen. I'm unsure, but she's like the first Black performer to win back to back in that category. So great night. I loved. First of all, Audra's performance was crazy. And some people online talk about, she was doing too much. Okay, just say you ain't seen the play then. I ain't seen the play myself. I know what it's about. It's about a stage mom who had her own dreams, didn't get to do them, so she put that on her daughter. And so it's usually I don't know if a black woman has ever played the role before. I don't know. Have no idea. Audra's playing it now. Okay, it has. So the other, so her daughter in the show also are played by black girls. And so the song that she sang, the everything's coming up rosy, it ends the show in the show. And she's literally having a meltdown in the show. So that is why, I mean, it's the Tonys, people. It's not an R&B song. It's, they get up there and they act out the song. It's a whole thing. It's not, I'm just going to stand here and sing on the mic. That's why they don't even need a mic. That's why she walked around kicking it and she looked kind of drunk and stuff. She's playing a role, people, but she in the play, she's having a meltdown at the end of the play. And that's the song that she did. And you can tell when you look at her face, P, when she was singing, the pain on her, when she was like, "What about me?" Mm-hmm. She's like, "What about my dream?" I started crying again. Like, what about your dreams, Audra?
Look at you. She went through all the emotions, even without truly understanding the play. If you can just see what she was visually putting out there, you could see that she was going through a range of emotions and pain and all of those things. So she did the thing. She did it. And that she was the first to do it, the first black, because and she never thought that she was going to be able to have an opportunity to do it because it just was never in her thought process because it's never been done. So when she was offered this role, she was shocked because, again, it has never been given to a black performer before. So well done. Well done to the arts.
So sorry. Yes. I just got to shout out Cynthia Erivo. I thought she was an amazing host. She hosted that thing down, the entire thing, all her little skits. I felt like she really showed her personality because she can come across really like serious. She had all the inside jokes of the Tonys when she talked with and how Jonathan Groff be spitting when he sings and all those things. And but it was just funny because every time somebody came up, she's like, "And here's my friend, my like everything." She's like, "My friend," like, we get it. You're friends with everybody, Cynthia. We get it. But she was so good. And of course, she had like 18 costume changes, and her stylist. Oh God, his name just slipped my mind. I know this man's name. He's like a big black stylist. He was probably like second under La Roche. Jason Bolden.
Oh, ew.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's her stylist. So he did all her stuff. One of her dresses was done by The Gap, which is crazy. The first one, the one that looked like Annie. I think they were alluding to different shows. And then her last one, when she came out and sang, and I'm telling you, I'm not going nowhere. That purple dress was by Paul Tazwell again. So he had a big night.
He had a huge night.
Yes, huge. All of her song, of course, you know she's gonna sing amazing. She did the In Memoriam with Sarah Bareilles, who was the guy who died, who was in the In Memoriam. I don't know if he was like her best friend, and I have to look that up. But kudos to her for getting on that stage and singing that song. And that's probably why they both were up there singing it, because Cynthia kind of had to reach and hold her at the end. But you could tell she was singing to her friend in the In Memoriam section. But she just did a really, really good job. I said, this lady can have a variety show. I said, when she get done on Broadway, she can have a little variety show, because she's actually very good at all the other things. I knew she's a great singer and, of course, acting, but she did a great job hosting the Tonys, and this is apparently like a dream for her that she's always wanted to do. So I'm like, the entire show was so great. They said viewership was up by 40%.
Oh, wow.
40%.
That's huge. Those are big numbers.
That's ridiculous amount of numbers for TV. So,
well done. Well done. She has an album coming out, and then, of course, part 2 of Wicked is later this year.
It came out on Friday, her album.
Okay, so it is out.
I pre-saved it, but I need to go ahead and listen to it because you know what? Because I'm a fan of hers. She always was doing the covers and, you know, really more traditional Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
But I got her first album, her last album. I don't know if the last album was her first one, but I got it. And I listened to it one time through, and I was like, okay, that's nice. And I was like, hey, why am I not super enjoying this album? Because I love her as a singer. I think her voice is so trained and so pure. But she was saying this album feels like her first because she actually got to do it the way she wanted to do it. She got to have songwriters and producers she wanted to work with. Ariana Grande, she said, was really helpful to her and letting her know other people to work with that would really vibe with her and things like that. And she said she would send Ariana songs and get feedback, and Ariana would send her songs and give feedback. And she did a lot of vocal stacking on this album too, which is amazing because her voice is her voice is so good. And if you don't know what vocal stacking is, P will appreciate this. Beyonce did a lot of vocal stacking on Cowboy Carter. Not to say that she doesn't normally do it, but it was really out in the forefront this time. So in songs like My Rose, that song in particular was, so it's like it's not background singers. It's only Beyonce. And she's going to sing every layer at every note, and then they're going to harmonize all the Beyoncés together. That's what the vocal stacking is. And, this is so people can understand. We're going to use Beyonce so you can understand. Cynthia Erivo did that for this. And she said that made all the difference to her. And I love her singles, so I'm excited to listen.
I just pulled it up. It's 20 songs, an hour and 3 minutes. So I didn't know it was already out. So I'll take a listen.
Came out Friday.
I'll listen.
And then
see
Wicked
what she got
2,
for us.
the trailer for Wicked 2 came out. They said it like the trailer for Wicked Part 1, they said hit like 70, 75 million views. Jesus. The trailer for Wicked 2 has hit like 130 million views. Okay. It's only been out. It hasn't been a week. So it's going to be big. It's going to be big.
This was a show for the arts, about the arts. And we love it. Different mediums.
It's my bag.
Film, stage, TV, music. Love it. It's who we are. It's what we do.
We need to find out when Audra is done with Gypsy. I need to find out when Audra is done with Gypsy, because I'm like, well, I'm leaving here with something. Let me go see. Can I see Audra? No, they said all of it sold. You know what? Forget it.
We're gonna look. We're gonna look for some tickets for you, Shaun.
I heard that you can't get tickets to Audra either, so
we're gonna look for some tickets for you, friend.
Oh, that's ours for y'all today. Sorry if we nerded out on you a little bit. That's what we do.
It's all good. We thank you for joining us. You can reach me on Instagram at better3701.
I'm on Instagram and Threads at Hey Shaun the Head. The podcast is also on Instagram at the Everything Has Changed podcast. Bye.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Holla.
Want to stay locked in with us so you never miss an episode? Visit everythinghaschangedpodcast.com and join our email list. That way you'll be the first to know about new episodes and all the fun stuff we have coming your way. Meet us over there.